Bonsoir à tous et bienvenue sur la télé de la saucisse prod. Alors attendez, je règle un peu mon niveau. On est comment quand on parle comme ça? Un instant. Allô, voilà. J'essaie de régler mon compresseur en live. C'est du pif pour un peu moins compresser ma voix pour que ce soit un peu moins dégueulasse. Ça a l'air mieux. Ok. Donc, nous allons partir sur Stanley Parable. Incroyable jeu. Balle. Oh là j'ai tout à fond. Donc bon. C'est vrai que ça aille niveau son du jeu, mais ça c'est juste le menu. Donc tout va bien. Pas d'inquiétude. Donc c'est quoi? C'est un jeu qui dure 2 heures et quelques. Je l'avais déjà fait une fois en live, mais je ne connaissais pas. Attendez. Bah, j'ai déjà fait une fois en live, mais je ne connaissais pas tout ce que je connais maintenant. Du coup, c'était un peu diaporama dégueulasse. Du coup, j'espère que ce coup-ci, ça ira. On va commencer le jeu dès maintenant, hein. Donc c'est un jeu qui, globalement, fait des nœuds au cerveau, hein, plus ou moins. C'est voilà, donc il y a un petit narrateur qui me traîne à travers. Et oh, ça te fait des nœuds au cerveau comme Portal le faisait, mais en pire, je pense. Je m'en souviens même pas complètement. C'est un jeu à fin multiple. Et voilà, simplement.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Donc nous jouons Stanley. Il y a un petit narrateur, vous allez voir, il va s'énerver. Autant ne va rien faire. Je sors pas du bureau, je sais qu'il s'énerve. Allez. Et on peut se promener comme ça un petit peu quand même. On peut interagir avec certaines choses, bon pas là, mais on peut interagir avec certaines choses. Bah non, mais là aussi j'ai des drops de FPS. Oh, attendez. Parce que ça peut se... J'en ai pas. Ah, peut-être comme ça. Voilà, hop. Ça va revenir à 30, je pense. Voilà. Là, on est à 30, c'est stable. Normalement, ça devrait rester stable.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Bah, je crois que c'est une fin que j'avais jamais fait, celle-là.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial
Du
outcome
coup, on l'a déjà fait. Oui, des fois, c'est possible de faire plusieurs fois la même fin, quoi.
This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days.
Et donc, on va recommencer le jeu globalement à l'infini pour faire toutes les fins possibles, tout ce qui peut arriver à Stanley. Et voilà. C'est beau. Enfin non, en vrai, c'est plus ou moins très dystopique quand même. Et très, très intéressant comme concept de jeu. Voilà. Voilà, on recommence le jeu. Et là, quand on a déjà fait cette solution-là, on va sortir.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Là, on peut pas allumer les ordinateurs ou un truc comme ça. Et là qu'on peut éteindre. Voilà, on peut éteindre les ordis. Ouais, donc on se promène. Oui, c'est là où il y a un achievement. Je ne sais plus. On peut s'agenouiller. Ouais, et donc il y a des petits achievements. Alors même les achievements, en fait, c'est du brainfuck. Simplement. Et les ordinateurs, ils attendent les inputs. C'est globalement une entreprise où on sodomise le cerveau des gens. Hein. Si simple que ça. Et après, il faut regarder.
because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Ah ouais, on teste toutes les portes parce que on sait pas, peut-être qu'il y en a une qui s'ouvre et qui nous permet de débloquer d'autres fins.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Celle de gauche, mais si je peux aller à celle de droite.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Et ce jeu, je le trouve vraiment très intéressant.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been
Incroyable.
worth the
Une très belle
detour
salle.
just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ouais, bon, là, après, on peut aller là. Alors, ce qu'on va faire, c'est qu'on va suivre le narrateur.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Voilà, et ça, par exemple, c'est le chemin que le narrateur veut qu'on emprunte, du coup.
Yet there was not
Au début, on le
a
suit.
person here either.
Bon, alors, au début, je vous ai montré qu'on n'était pas obligé de le suivre.
Stanley decided
Mais,
to go to his boss's
mais normalement,
office.
globalement, on suit ce que nous dit le narrateur. Euh... Ouais, donc, bon, il y a pour claquer, là. Ouais, cet endroit-là, par exemple, cette porte-là, elle s'ouvre.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing
Ah oui,
there,
c'est ici.
so he turned around and got back on track.
Et c'est là qu'il est vénère quand on sort pas.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
Alors
office.
ensuite, donc, on monte dans le bureau du patron. C'est le bureau, vous verrez qu'après on va un peu tout explorer.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keyboard, Stanley happened to input
Alors il nous dit globalement
sheer luck. Amazing.
que c'est ce digicode qui... Parce que c'est un narrateur, donc il est forcément omniscient. Et donc c'est ce digicode qui révélerait toute la vérité à Stanley. Mais que de toute façon, il lui est impossible de connaître ce code, parce que il y a que son patron qui le connaît. Et du coup, quand on le tape, parce que le narrateur nous l'a dit, et il nous dit... il raconte, en appuyant sur les boutons purement au hasard, Stanley tombe sur le bon code. Et donc on démarre. Et donc on passe à cet endroit. On démarre, c'est pas du tout. Enfin, c'est le début du jeu. C'est le début et la fin en même temps.
Stanley
Ouais.
realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Salut en carte, comment ça va?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ouais, hop. Voilà, c'est incroyable, c'est ce que le narrateur nous dit.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Café comme café avant le dur live de 25 heures Sur GTRP que tu fais à chaque fois.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Alors dans l'idée, on pourrait essayer de trouver l'écran de Stanley. Mais ce serait terriblement long, je pense. Arrêtez le 247. Celui-là. Nous, on a des tiroirs pour les nôtres. Parfait. Là, l'ascenseur.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No.
Bah carrément, si ça marche bien GTRP et que t'aimes ça, pour passer partenaire, c'est le meilleur truc à faire.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Ah, donc le jeu, vous pouvez vous dire que oh là là, le jeu est simple. Mais le jeu n'est pas fait pour être compliqué. C'est un jeu narratif, un jeu très intelligent et très bien fait. Contrairement à ce qu'on a fait hier là. Oh là là.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place.
Paf.
Blackness.
On est dans le noir, hein.
The rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won.
Bon alors, j'ai changé de bot.
Shackled himself from someone else's command.
Il est un peu au pif.
And yet, even as the immense doors
Donc les commandes arriveront un peu au pif, mais c'est pas grave.
still lay
Ça ira.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go.
Alors, pour info,
Let it
là
go.
vous voyez des arbres, profitez-en, hein, on n'en verra pas du jeu.
Whatever life he lives, it
Ouais, mais j'avais le mien avant qui était très bien, mais je sais pas pourquoi il détectait plus quand j'étais en ligne. Et comme ils en ont ajouté un à Streamlabs, ça m'évitait d'avoir deux logiciels à lancer pour rien en fait.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of
On disparaît à 5 secondes, je sais comment. Ouais.
immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Mais c'est chiant parce que. En fait, l'idée c'est que celui que j'avais avant, tu mettais en fait, le timer était le même pour toutes les commandes, et du coup, en fait, il y avait. Enfin, pour tous les timers, tu vois, en fait, toutes les 5 minutes, j'avais vraiment quelque chose qui avait. Ouais, moins de RM à créer, mais au moins le jeu est bien. Ah, c'est bon, on arrête avec les jeux de merde, c'est fini. C'est le passé. Alors attendez, je vais juste. Je vois que ma voix est quand même un peu fort. Je vais baisser un petit poil. Alors, on va baisser 3 dB, ça devrait le faire. Euh... Et là, regarde. Voilà, et du coup, en fait, avant, donc le chatbot, oui, toutes les 5 minutes, il mettait un timer. Et là, comme c'est un timer individuel, en fait, au bout de 5 minutes, il me balance toutes mes commandes, sauf que je crois que j'en ai mis une à 10 ou une connerie comme ça pour pas que ça le fasse. Mais ça ne marche pas du tout. Donc, chiant. Moi, je suis content, je suis enfermé. Pas se suicider avec le taille crayon, non? Pas moyen. Rien là-dedans. On peut s'agenouiller. Visiblement, il a rien. Donc, ouais, pas de RM. Fait recommencer à nouveau. Pas de RM dans ce jeu, mais du cerveau. Très important le cerveau.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
Donc,
mean?
donc forcément, le début,
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
et depuis elles font ça marche en carte. Voilà, donc forcément, le début, bah, c'est on reprend le même, c'est normal. C'est une selle, on passe juste après, en fait. Du coup, le début est le même, forcément.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
On prend celle
he
de
entered
gauche.
the door on his left.
Ici, je fais donc ce qu'il me dit depuis le début. Par exemple. Une fois, j'essaie les portes et tout.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Du coup, moins d'intérêt. Et on veut.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ouais, bon, globalement, on a juste pris une porte différente à un moment. Là, par exemple, on peut aller là. Ce que je n'ai pas compris l'autre fois, c'est que là, il y a un... Et que je comprends peut-être toujours pas, en fait. Là, il y a un ascenseur. Et d'ascenseur. Voilà, incroyable. Au passage, salut YouTube. Hein, comme ce que si c'est fluide. Voilà, donc là, il y a une commande K-pop. Pas une commande, un timer K-pop, donc celui-là, ça va. Et les autres, enfin, je vois. Faudrait que je mette 5, 6, 7 minutes en fait pour les timers. Ouais, du coup, on est très content, sauf que ça monte nulle part. Et du coup, je comprends pas. Yes, ok. Rien que ça, c'est hyper balèze. Mettez ça. Un employé, on voit pas son visage. C'est dingue. Bon, là, c'est quelqu'un qui tue un panda. Et... Voilà, il y a des trucs de ouf. La baignoire. D'accord. Un homme qui aime pratiquer des choses en parlant d'argent. Alors, visite, vite fait, bon. On va retourner à la fin.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk.
Qui est ici. L'autre fois, je l'ai cherché pendant 1000 ans.
In
Hein.
fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret phone number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Voilà,
Incredibly,
ouais.
by simply pushing random
Incroyable.
buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code.
C'est vrai que là, à la fin, il y a une autre fin possible.
He stepped into the newly opened prison.
Que j'avais fait avant. Parce que moi, j'étais un dissident déjà la première fois que je jouais, hein. Donc, du coup, j'avais pas fait la fin qu'on me demande au début. J'étais mort au début. Du coup, là, on va aller mourir, hein. Voilà, pas de spoil, on va mourir.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door
On va
that
mourir,
led
hop, par
via
là.
control
Et il s'écrit
to an
escape. Mais,
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
ce qui est intéressant dans le jeu, donc, c'est d'explorer les différentes fins possibles. Et après, ça débloque de nouvelles choses.
Still had every
Puisque le
opportunity
narrateur
to get back on track.
ouvre de nouvelles possibilités.
At this point,
Et ça, c'est terriblement bien fait.
conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Paf. Et là, hop là. Là, on va mourir. Mais ce n'est pas si grave, nous ne manquerons à personne, après tout. J'espère que vous allez bien sur le chat. Oui. Mais c'est... Il n'y a pas de saut, hein.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Voilà. De cette façon, nous mourrons. Et du coup, on recommence.
Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Ah non, c'est vrai que ça fait un truc chelou. Ah oui, non, d'accord. Et c'est vrai que ça nous amène dans cette salle.
Yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Ah, il est vrai qu'il y a ça, ah oui. Et là, il y a cette salle qui en
When every
fait...
path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you
Très
see
beau.
now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Et du coup, là, pour le coup, on a vraiment plein de taf par rapport aux jeux qui sont assez intéressants. Ou qui sont un peu cringe, hein, comme on dit. Voilà. Ah, un plan de l'office. Couloir. C'est de quoi ça? Ah, il y a deux portes. Ouais, c'est globalement, c'est l'office qu'on a au début. Avec notre petit bureau. Ah, donc, hop. Les portes, des trucs comme ça. Le bureau de Stanley. Les boutons. Il y en a qui font très portal quand même. Il y a un côté portal hein, là-dedans. D'ailleurs. On a les crédits. On a des vrais crédits pour le coup. Et voilà, et c'est une forme originale quand même. Et c'est très classe. Bon, on va continuer, on va visiter la suite. De toute façon, on a le temps, hein. Le jeu, il fait environ 2 heures. Une première version de la salle de maintenance. Une photocopieuse. Malheureusement, il n'y a pas de commande pour photocopier son cul. Warzone. Voilà, donc au début du développement, nous avions designé une fin où Stanley se retrouvait sur un champ de bataille en train de friter des aliens. Euh, le jeu... euh, je saurais pas le traduire celui-là. Ah oui, et donc en gros, à la fin, ils se sont rendus compte que c'était trop blagueur euh, pour ce jeu. Et, euh, et en plus, certaines personnes auraient pensé que ce serait se foutre de la gueule des shooters, alors que pas du tout. C'est pas du tout l'ambiance du jeu. C'est pas du tout ce qui était prévu. Voilà. Dans les Parables HD Remix. Le but du HD Remix, c'est de gagner. Et de perdre aussi. Voilà. Il faut une bien belle salle des crédits. J'ai mis le générateur. Machin. Voilà, incroyable. Des mails par rapport au narrateur. Enfin, des mails qui ont été envoyés au narrateur. Le narrateur étant conscience. Allez, ça c'est différents bureaux de Stanley. Ça, je dirais que c'est la version finale. Il y a pas le bas. Il y a moins de. Ah oui. Il n'est pas placé au même endroit. Ça, c'est la version finale, sauf que dans la version finale, il n'y a qu'une seule tasse et il y a un taille-crayon. Et puis il y a un seul ordinateur. Ah oui, non, c'est celui-là, la version finale, voilà. Une seule tasse, un taille-crayon, un ordi et du bordel là. Voilà, différents designs de bureaux. Et le game design, c'est vraiment hyper important ainsi, et hyper intéressant. Ceux qui aiment ça, voilà, avoir des objets comme ça, qui font partie d'un univers et auxquels on ne fait pas forcément attention, mais qui sont très travaillés, c'est hyper intéressant, hyper important. C'est des gens qui ont beaucoup de talent. Voilà. On a globalement fait le tour. Alors, est-ce qu'il y a une vraie fin? Il y a un endroit où ça restart automatiquement. C'est Kevin Brating.
They're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing. Does that sound plausible? See how it's
Voilà.
perfect example of
Donc ça, c'est des prises de voix du narrateur. Qui ont été faites, mais pas tout au long du développement, mais pas utilisées dans le jeu final. L'horloge. Et là, donc on est revenu au début. Et donc il n'y a pas d'endroit qui restart automatiquement. C'est ça la vraie fin du jeu? Je dirais que oui. On va recommencer. Et, donc recommencer le jeu, en fait, c'est pas tricher, c'est pas quoi que ce soit. En fait, ça fait partie du jeu de recommencer le jeu.
just a step through this door, Stanley thought.
Voilà, donc on a fait
If I can make it
le
through,
passage que
I can
le
make it through them all.
narrateur nous demande. Du coup, là, ce qu'on peut faire,
Stanley came to a set of two
c'est
open
toujours aller à
doors.
gauche,
He
comme on nous
entered the
demande,
door on his left.
mais au moment des escaliers. Hop, bon,
Yet
là, on
there was
continue.
not a single person here either. Feeling
C'est
a
très
wave
bien.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
On redésobéit une fois. Et voilà. Et là, d'ailleurs, je me rappelle très bien.
Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Rien que ça, c'est hyper drôle. Ça brise le quatrième mur et défoncé à grands coups de kick, quoi.
Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after.
Donc c'est très narratif, hein. Il va jamais se taire. Je me permets quand même de parler par-dessus. Ouais, donc on a les différents raisonnements de Stanley selon ce qu'il fait. Et là, du coup, il est en mode oh là là, bah je rêve, c'est hyper rigolo. And Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing? Ça c'est vraiment l'endroit où le quatrième mur est brisé beaucoup. Pour rappel, ceux qui ne savent pas, le quatrième mur c'est de base au théâtre. C'est celui qui sépare l'action du public. Et du coup, en fait, briser le quatrième mur, c'est quand un personnage se rend compte. Quand un personnage s'adresse au public, quand il se rend compte qu'il est dans une pièce de théâtre, en fait. Ça marche aussi pour un film et pour un jeu. Donc là, quand il dit pourquoi il a un mec dans sa tête qui lui dit des choses. Comme exemple de briser le quatrième mur, on a Deadpool qui s'adresse aux spectateurs déjà. Enfin, Deadpool qui dit en fait qu'il est dans un film. On a aussi par exemple dans Metal Gear Solid le premier, un peu avant de friter Psycho Mantis, Solid Snake qui dit écoute, la musique s'est arrêtée. C'est une musique qui est complètement extra-diégétique, qui fait pas partie de la narration. Et le personnage dit la musique s'est arrêtée. Ça, c'est briser le quatrième mur. À grands coups de pied dans la gueule. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. L'auto-persuasion, incroyable. Et elle est toujours là. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office, I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real, I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. Incroyable. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. Yes, c'est toi qui me l'as conseillé, Wataru. Je l'ai fait. Je l'avais fait une fois en stream. Bon, c'était pas fluide, c'était pas cool, c'était un peu la merde. En fait, je le refais sans hésitation. Maintenant que je comprends comment fonctionnent les logiciels de stream. Enfin, de quoi il est vraiment cool ce jeu-là.
He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Il paraît, mais rien que ça. Quand il dit ça, mais ça retourne le cerveau. Enfin, je veux dire, elle voit quelqu'un, globalement, qui a pété un câble. Et elle se dit, oh bah, c'est un fou, je suis bien contente d'être normal. Avec un job normal, tout ça. Et au final, Stanley aussi, il a un job normal. Et
So it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
c'est dingue. Hop là, en fait, je joue depuis le début. Voilà, là, vous me voyez un peu mieux. Voilà, et c'est du génie. Bon alors, du coup, on a fait la porte de gauche,
Gone.
on a fait.
Stanley decided to go to the
Du coup, maintenant, il nous reste la porte de droite.
Mr. Memo.
D'ailleurs, je crois que il me semble que j'ai redécouvert une fin que j'avais pas fait en fait
This was not the correct way to the meeting
au
room,
début.
and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted
Donc là, on a déjà passé ça, on a déjà essayé d'ouvrir toutes les portes. Bon, là, on est déjà passé dans cette salle. Incroyable. Très beau salon.
What a gorgeous, gorgeous room.
Oh,
Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the
Oui.
meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
et même le narrateur il troll, enfin, ça n'a aucun
But
sens.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ouais, et là, on y est déjà allé. Sauf que là, on peut continuer,
Through the maintenance section,
mais au lieu d'y aller, on peut aller là.
door, and got back on track.
Et du coup, on va y aller. Il faut explorer. Hein. Alors, je sais pas s'il y a une vraie fin. Il y a celle qui nous restart pas automatiquement, en fait, c'est là où on meurt,
Didn't want to go back
plus
to
ou moins.
business. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now, in order to get back, he needed to go from here it's left.
Ouais, alors on nous ouvre la porte là-bas. On peut pas ouvrir celle-là, visiblement non. Faut qu'on aille à gauche.
Oh no, it's to the right. My mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly. Oh dear, would you hold on?
Et ça, c'est hyper bien scénarisé aussi. Enfin, je sais pas, moi je trouve ça très rigolo.
We went down right, left,
Le narrateur qui cherche dans son script.
right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Ouais. Paf.
No,
Ah oui.
no. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to
Donc ça, c'est là où on était tout à l'heure, hein, la salle où il y a tous les écrans.
the whole story completely unusable. How about rather than
Mec, il
waste
se fait
time
virer.
trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Alors, je me demande si je peux... Si vraiment c'est possible de faire les autres portes. Je pense que oui, je crois que je les avais pas testés l'autre fois.
His co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ça, voilà, ça pour le coup, c'est un vrai jeu du cerveau. C'est pas la croûte qu'on a fait hier, là.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Or did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monsters? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then, it's an adventure. Come, Stanley, let's find the story.
C'est nos deux couloirs. On peut aller là. Tout là, il y a nos chaises. Et là, il y a tellement d'endroits possibles. Oh là là. Par où on commence? C'est un labyrinthe. Ah, d'accord. On peut aller que là déjà. Là, ça nous ouvre d'autres passages.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Voilà. Donc globalement, pour le labyrinthe, pas de fin, et en fait, c'est une fin en elle-même, quoi.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Il n'y a plus de porte.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
On va essayer d'ouvrir les portes. Hop.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never
No.
mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Rien que l'espace, je sais pas comment c'est géré. Hein.
Now, listen. Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Je sais pas comment c'est géré l'espace, mais c'est très bien fait.
You know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh no. No, I don't feel right about this at all.
Bah
We
ouais.
both know you didn't.
Ouais, on a rien fait pour gagner. C'est la fin facile de celui qui ne sait pas comment finir.
Situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Au final, même si on veut entre autres contrarier le narrateur, on le suit quand même. C'est...
All right.
J'avais oublié ça.
Solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Et là, d'habitude, on peut pas y aller.
The line. How simple is that?
Là, c'était un endroit où on ne pouvait pas aller avant.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
Allez.
Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside
Je vais bloquer là.
experience of this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize.
Portes sont bloquées et tout.
Going with all that.
Non plus, on peut pas passer
I
d'ailleurs.
think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
C'est n'importe quoi, c'est 100% what the fuck. Mais c'est très drôle. C'est drôle et en même temps dystopique et en même temps là. C'est du génie. Du pur génie. Boys, 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 boys. Poète, 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 poète. Poète, 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 poète. Incroyable. Mettez ça, ça a aucun sens. Poète, 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 poète. Poète, 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 poète. Poète, 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 poète. Ah. Très belle plante.
This fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely
Oui.
and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
En vrai, ouais, voilà quoi. Fougère quoi.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No, no, no. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley parable, right? The story is...
Ce jeu se suit, pour le coup, ça. Autant le jeu d'hier, là. Si je peux vous déconseiller de l'acheter, bah l'achetez pas. Enfin, de l'acheter pas, il est gratos. Si je peux vous conseiller, si je peux vous déconseiller de le télécharger, ne le téléchargez pas parce qu'il bon, il est gratos, mais il est pas bien. Autant celui-là, il coûte quelques sous, je sais plus combien. Mais si vous avez, franchement, si ça vous plaît, l'ambiance, jetez-vous dessus quoi.
Oh, no, no.
Encore une fois.
No, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Là, pour le coup, vous pouvez sauter dessus quoi. Je peux plus fermer la porte. Terrible.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Allez, c'est parti. On suit ce couloir.
Yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story.
Aucune porte, que dalle.
What do you want from the story?
Aucune façon de dévier.
Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Je sais vraiment pas comment l'espace est designé.
No, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story.
Ligne trademark hein, quand même.
Or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Comment ça peut être trademark la ligne? Enfin. Paf, des portes.
Choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Allez, paf.
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means
Ça n'a
our
aucun sens.
destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is
Ça n'a aucun
clear,
sens.
then
Alors on tourne en rond parce qu'on nous l'a
the
demandé.
door on
Voilà.
the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Paf.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're
Avec tout le
telling me
programme.
that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again.
Attendez, hop.
Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this
Ça, je pourrais prendre des screenshots.
wall.
Et en fait, je me dis, si ça se trouve, il y a...
To decide. Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on.
Tu vois, peut-être qu'en faisant dans cet ordre-là...
I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
C'est qu'au final, le narrateur
So,
est aussi paumé que nous.
okay.
Ce qui fait notamment partie du côté cerveau, hein, bien sûr.
This is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if
Ce son qui fait peur. Qui surprend. Et on reprend. C'est parti.
all of his co-workers were gone, what could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Blap, blap, blap.
When
Hop.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
Du coup,
this was
à gauche, globalement, on a fait tout ce qui était possible. Hein.
it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Et à droite, il nous reste le fond.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ah oui, je voulais voir si je pouvais en bas
Tore through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead,
tester les autres portes.
and got back on track.
Je voulais savoir si c'était possible de faire les autres portes maintenant qu'on a fait là-haut. Le...
Didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even
Désolé, je baille tout le temps en live le
So
matin.
now, in order to
C'est
get
fou.
back, he needed to go, from here, it's, oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Ok, non, je pense pas qu'on puisse. Hein.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Non, donc je pense qu'on a qu'une seule fin par ici. Hein.
No, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Ouais, donc là, on va aller là et on va... Hop. Paf.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is...
Heureusement qu'ils ont désactivé le saut.
Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
On peut sauter là.
Okay. We just have to get back
Lui, il a été viré, MDR.
Who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable.
Pirate.
How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Paf. Et du coup, on recommence. Donc, je voulais voir s'il y avait pas, si ça ouvrait pas des nouvelles choses, de retourner une deuxième fois en bas. Je pense, visiblement non. Du coup, on va aller à la porte du fond. On va faire à droite et ensuite la porte du fond. Ah oui.
What? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you...
Du coup, faut qu'on refasse toute la partie là.
Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you?
Ça, c'est chiant.
Wrote the story was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here
Pardon.
somewhere. Okay then, it's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find...
Est-ce que si je vais par là... Oh là, c'est la merde. En fait, partout. Vu que ça va être un labyrinthe et qu'il y a que dalle, quoi. Ah oui, donc ça nous ramène ici en fait. Ok.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Après on refait. Du coup, est-ce qu'après on refait si il n'y a pas de porte?
All of his co-workers were gone.
C'est dommage que qu'on refasse ce genre de truc quand on.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ouais. Là, il n'y a pas de porte.
I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything? Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way.
C'est rigolo, mais du coup, quand on l'a déjà fait une fois, en fait, on a vraiment l'impression de perdre beaucoup de temps, c'est dommage.
Now this, well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so.
Voilà.
I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an
Donc pour le coup, voilà, le jeu est vraiment bien. On a un truc instant gaming. Je sais pas si le jeu est dessus.
But you know what? Since I've completely forgotten.
Attendez. Je le laisse causer 2 secondes. Voilà, je le laisse causer. Je vais vérifier s'il est sur Instant Gaming pour vous. Poète. Ouais, on a déjà eu toute cette partie du jeu. Désolé, le jeu reste pas en arrière-plan. Il n'est pas sur Instant Gaming, c'est dommage. Il aurait fallu passer par des bons sites, voilà. C'est dommage. Voilà, on recommence. On est bon là. Ah non, il y a la ligne. Ah, si je fais recommencer. Quoi?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ok. Et ça, c'est quelque chose que j'avais jamais vu, par exemple. La fin tableau blanc.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story.
C'est rigolo ça. Ok, donc on continue par là-bas. Et bah pareil, ça je crois que je l'ai jamais fait. Hein.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Donc pour le coup, je sais pas si...
Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Pour le coup, le restart depuis le menu fait aussi évoluer les choses, j'ai l'impression.
It's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Paf.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Là aussi, ah oui, c'est vrai. Ça part sur un dialogue profond.
Difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stan.
Le jeu est vraiment bien. C'est un jeu qui se vit. Pardon. C'est un jeu qui se qui se joue plus qu'il ne se regarde, hein, mais si je peux vous partager ça, et en plus il coûte pas très cher. Hein. Paf, voilà.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another,
C'est quoi si on le décroche pas?
pick up the phone. As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check.
Celle-là, pareil, j'ai jamais fait. Mais il y en a plein en fait que j'ai pas fait, je me rends compte. Pourtant, j'avais déjà pas mal torché la chose.
Where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner?
Qu'est-ce qu'il n'avait remarqué?
Stanley, you're a real person.
Ah.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices.
Encore une fois.
I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp?
Et là, pour le coup, c'est plus à Stanley qui parle, c'est à nous. Et encore une fois, c'est très intéressant comme c'est fait.
So we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Petit film éducatif.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking to a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is
Mais ça non plus, je l'ai jamais vu. C'est incroyable.
to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back sack and crack."
Hop. Mais c'est trop bien.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day.
Choix par jour. Ah bah oui, je pense qu'on en fait plus. Hein. Déjà tous les matins, je choisis sur quel jeu je stream. Ça en fait un.
Just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
C'est du génie. Oh.
You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct
Plus de prise.
would have been. This way, please.
Parfait. Et là, je découvre encore des fins. Et ça, c'est génial.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all.
Oui.
We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Pour le coup, c'est vraiment une grosse partie que j'ai pas fait, quoi. On va nous faire revenir en arrière. Pour aller où, je n'en sais rien. Les portes ne sont toujours pas ouvrables.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
C'est vraiment une nouvelle narration que je ne connais pas, que je n'ai jamais vue.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
Ils ont
office.
bloqué. Ce qui est marrant, c'est qu'il y a de l'étage en dessous et tout, mais ils ont bloqué, il n'y a pas d'escalier, il n'y a rien. Parfait. Ah, le bureau a changé.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage.
Ah là, pour le coup, je me...
He drew a sharp breath.
Incroyable, reste ouvert. On pourrait faire des incrustations claquées. Oui.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
C'est quand même pas ma voix qui est prise en compte. Non, je pense pas.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code
Bonsoir.
into the receiver.
Bonsoir.
Get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
What, Night Shock 115?
Okay, fine. You're
Parle.
not gonna
Ouais,
do
non,
it.
voilà, c'est juste qu'il parle pas.
It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to
Ça
do.
m'aurait étonné aussi que le micro se prenne. Des fois, ça arrive.
For your respect.
Mais,
Respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to
mais
take
Stanley n'a pas de voix.
seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
Ça m'énerve trop. C'est génial.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
C'est marrant, on peut vraiment avoir l'impression d'avoir fini le jeu. Unrevealed.
There was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Yeah, but don't worry, I speak English a little bit.
behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door.
How are you, man?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always
Donc ça,
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task.
ouais, à droite. Hein.
Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction.
I'm fine, thanks.
We're not too late.
Yeah, I've played the game once, but never did this part. I've never unplugged the phone.
It's ruined. You can't believe after everything we talked about that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Paf. Ce jeu est vraiment incroyable. Quoi?
I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine and you've run it into the ground.
Donc en fait, j'avais vraiment raté une énorme partie du jeu, quoi.
You just had to see. Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside.
You seem to know the word, to know the game by heart.
Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through...
The end.
Are you listening to me?
Oh là là, sérieux?
Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me?
Incroyable.
Just fine. They're both correct. You can't be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that.
On attend que les crédits, incroyable.
Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it.
Et du coup, on peut faire... y a un défi où c'est speedrun.
Are you there? You're listening to this? Stanley,
Yeah, I've already done the other one, the other ends, other parts of the game, but never the true end. Ouais, c'est la première fois que je fais cette partie du jeu, donc je suis désolé, je parle un peu anglais parce que nous avons un anglo-saxon dans le chat, donc je le fais. Mais voilà, donc il y a, j'ai déjà fait une partie du jeu, mais de la dernière fois, mais j'avais jamais fait la vraie fin. Sorry, I gotta speak French sometimes. just for French people and YouTube.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Et du coup, on continue, et c'est trop bien.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Et on peut faire la fin là que l'autre fois on avait fait déjà.
Stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Et donc là, on va faire la fin
Stanley was so bad at
où on saute
directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired.
ici.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Ah, faut qu'on décroche le téléphone.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not
J'ai pas. Je vais prendre l'appel de téléphone parce que je l'ai pas fait cette fin là.
This is it, Stanley.
I'm gonna take the phone call.
Yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Unrevealed. Thanks for follow. Thank you, man. Where are you from?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha.
Nope.
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life
okay.
to you? I'm trying to make
Great.
a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Ouais. LT.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons.
Et au final, ce qui est marrant, c'est que dans ce jeu, c'est ce qu'on fait. On dit que Stanley, c'est un mec qui appuie sur des boutons quand on lui dit. Au final, c'est ce qu'on fait. On a notre manette et on appuie juste sur des boutons.
Except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind,
C'est abusé.
in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had
C'est du pur génie.
vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world,
Pourquoi?
he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
No, not yet. I've seen the achievements, but I didn't do it yet.
But there is no answer.
Voilà, dans le chat, on me demande si j'ai appuyé 5 fois sur la porte 430, qui est un achievement dans le jeu.
The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
On peut ne pas le faire. Après, si ça va faire quelque chose. Il risque de ne rien se passer pendant un certain temps, quoi. Et dans l'idée, c'est sur le jeu que de ne pas le faire. Donc, voilà. Est-ce qu'à un moment, il se passe quelque chose quand on n'appuie pas sur le bouton? Je ne sais pas. There's no other way. Ok.
You see?
J'attends bien qu'il n'y a pas moyen. Pas moyen de faire autre chose. Hein.
He's electing to kill himself. How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
The other way was to close the game.
I can't. Not the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Mourir.
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Nous avons un expert du jeu dans le chat Twitch. Et du coup, on y retourne. Donc c'est la porte 430.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
20 fois.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble.
Oh.
Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Je sais pas, parce qu'il y a des achievements, comme il y en a un qui s'appelle infaisable. En gros, le truc c'est, il est impossible d'avoir cet achievement.
I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way.
Ça qu'on n'aura rien à la fin.
Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417. Où est-elle? « 417, là. C'est le pire truc.
Great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Elle était par où? 26.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so. Now, back to door number 437.
C'est les pires trucs. Mais c'est du génie, c'est du génie.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
Il va me faire toucher tout ce qui existe.
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Oh là là.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Ah, celui-là, on monte par là.
Yes,
Hop.
this is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416. We've almost got it. Now the copy machine, do that one again.
C'est génial. Merde, elle est où? Et où la photocopieuse? Là.
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 clicks on door 43. Yes! We did it! Oh, wow.
Oh là là.
Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now? What were you thinking?
C'est parfait. Du coup, continue.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this
Hop.
was not the correct way to the
Du coup, faut qu'on fasse la fa où on saute.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee
On saute de la
lounge
plateforme.
just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Après, je vais essayer de faire l'achievement speedrun.
I realize that investing in your trust in someone
Voilà, après tout, on veut se lancer dans le speedrun. Pourquoi pas commencer par ça? Speedrunner un jeu qui n'a pas de fin, ça me semble être une bonne idée, non?
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Lol.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way
Ça, c'est un carré.
Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley?
On tourne en rond. Hein.
I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here.
Ah oui, c'est vrai qu'il y a des trucs lacos là.
If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Ouais, le petit côté tout mignon. C'est bleu, c'est beau. Incroyable. C'est beau, hein. Et l'espace.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Là, on a le choix de mourir.
No!
Paf.
Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a
C'est vrai.
moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room? There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Petit bag. C'est beau, hein. Incroyable, incroyable session de jeu. C'est tout rose, magnifique, incroyable. Vous avez pu entendre qu'on a changé l'alerte de follow d'ailleurs. Ouais, j'ai quelqu'un qui est venu qui trouvait que je m'occupais pas assez de mes viewers. Du coup, j'ai mis son pseudo en alerte. N'hésitez pas à lui envoyer des MP sur Twitch. Oh, bah, on s'amuse, hein. Je me demande si ça a une fin, ce morceau-là.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
On remonte. Ouais.
No, no, what do you do? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
Oui.
Stanley,
Mais on ne meurt pas.
let's go back to the other room. Yes, perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about. I know you'll see. You'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
Et si on se... Mais en fait, je me demande si une fin à cette partie-là, un autorisé ou pas. Moi, je dis... Ah, on peut pas sauter. Ah, moi, je suis bah, go, on saute. Et on ne peut pas... Terrible, là. Il n'y a pas un trou de mur? Un trou de mur invisible? Non. Moi, je pense qu'ici, on peut restart, il n'y a rien d'autre à foutre. Bonjour à ceux qui viennent d'arriver, bien entendu.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Paf.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a de... Je vais aller voir vite fait. Parce que je sais qu'il y a d'autres achievements dans le jeu. Afficher tous les succès. Voilà, comme ça, on verra et ça nous permettra d'avancer dans le jeu. aille jouer à The Stanley Parable pour la durée entière d'un mardi. Et on joue 24 heures pendant un mardi. Ça peut être un truc à faire. Ah oui, en vrai, globalement, si, il y a le speedrun que je peux faire. On va faire ça.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Je pense pas qu'on ait l'appel de temps du coup pour l'achievement speedrun.
Set of two open doors. This was
Bon, un truc comme 4 minutes.
the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Mais bon, après tout, c'est un peu comme Trackmania.
And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
C'est un peu comme Trackmania, on aurait troqué les voitures pour des salariés, voilà.
Stanley
Pour
was
un
so
salarié.
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Ah, quoique, je peux essayer d'aller là-bas. Mais d'abord, j'essaie de faire l'achievement speedrun.
The fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Je pense que c'est cette fin-là qui est attendue pour l'achievement.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check.
Avec ça, ça doit prendre un temps fou, je pense.
Here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow.
Bon, tu as une erreur de traduction, hein, parce que c'est écrit fade, il dit fade to white, c'est écrit fade to white. Et c'est écrit fondu au noir, mais tout va bien.
How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you. Wait a second. Did I just see. No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you
En plus, il y a toute la partie chez le patron et tout.
Safety protocol for real-world decision-making, or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can
Et puis il y a ça aussi.
on safe
C'est en combien de temps le speedrun? 4 minutes 22 secondes.
decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instruction.
Eh ben,
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend
et si c'est pas ça, c'est que c'est la fin avec la grande porte où on sort en fait. Mais là où on nous dit the end, c'est quand on fait ça.
Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic.
Ça n'a aucun sens.
Speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making
Et c'est pas possible de le faire en 4 minutes ou pas. Enfin,
Do you
22.
make more than 8?
Déjà, c'est quand même hyper précis. Hein.
And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago.
Je peux regarder en plus le timing avant de commencer
This way, please.
Achievement. Et merde, bon bah là déjà j'ai perdu 3 secondes.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all.
C'est vrai.
We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Et...
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Incroyable.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always...
Oui, il y a toute la partie en haut dans le bureau aussi qui prend du temps. Je pense que clairement ça fait déjà plus de 4 minutes. Après... Oh,
There was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Visiblement impossible de dire quoi que ce soit.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Je peux bourrer le bouton autant que je veux, hein, ça fait que là.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Je veux bien, mais...
Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something.
Bon, clairement,
Explain yourself, you coward. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open
Ouais,
doors,
c'est pas,
he entered the door on his left.
pas grave. Je sais pas comment c'est possible. En 4 minutes... 4 minutes 20, là.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Ok, paf.
behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Bon, puis clairement, c'est pas les 5 millisecondes que j'ai perdu en me fritant sur les portes que. Voilà. Tu vois, je pense que c'est pas ça. Mais en même temps, c'est là qu'ils te mettent quand même que c'est la fin.
And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely?
C'est pas grave, on va regarder la fin. On a le temps, hein. Techniquement, on a réussi à finir le jeu. Faut qu'on aille détruire la machine. On l'a pas fait, ça. Non, pas détruire la machine. Détruire la machine, on l'a fait, c'est juste reprendre le contrôle de la machine. On n'a pas fait. Désolé, il y a eu un peu de bruit, c'était ma manette qui était sur. Qui était posée sur le bureau.
I'm here. I'm still here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you jumped through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
Et peut-être que c'est ça qu'il faut faire pour le speedrun du coup.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay?
Du coup, pour la première fois, on voit Stanley.
I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening?
Il n'y a pas. Voilà.
Can you hear me?
Il n'y a pas la dégaine d'un winner, quoi.
All right. Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose.
C'est beau. Ok. Restart. On va prendre le contrôle de la machine parce qu'on peut. On peut choisir de ne pas la détruire. Et de devenir le boss. Ah, et donc on se mange le générique. Et ça, c'est du génie. Si tu continues, eh ben, il te colle le générique quand même dans la gueule.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay. But eager to get back to business,
du coup, on peut tenter le speedrun en bas.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Ouais, c'est le fait que ce soit écrit 4 minutes 22 secondes qui me fait un peu peur parce que j'ai peur que ce soit vraiment genre un speed et que ce soit vraiment que pour les mecs qui sont beaucoup trop chauds. Qui optient les trajectoires du personnage quoi.
Want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now, in order to get back, he needed to go
Mais c'est même pas là que je devais aller ici. Non, pas du tout.
from here. It's left.
Non, en plus c'est dans le bureau du patron quoi. On recommence. Dans le bureau du patron qu'il faut aller pour aller en bas. Je suis con. J'ai pas réfléchi.
All of
Du
a
coup on
sudden,
va, on va aller dans le bureau du patron.
what could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Toutefois, nous aimerions bien pouvoir
Feeling soothed,
passer cette porte.
Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Hop. C'est parti. Là, je pense qu'il y a moyen. Bon, j'ai pas regardé le time, j'ai pas regardé le timing où j'ai commencé, mais pour le coup, ça va quoi, ça se fait clairement.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on
J'essaie d'aller le
the
plus vite
walls
possible, hein.
packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Allez, go, go, go.
Each
On
bore the
attend.
number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a
Parti.
screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept
On refuse de croire tout ça là. On est content, c'est bien.
Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery...
Allez.
and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door
Tu veux juste les flares de fumée quand t'es comme ça.
Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
Petit oiseau.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand.
Celui-là, il y a peut-être moyen qu'on l'ait. Hein.
No longer
Je suis pas sûr.
tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be.
J'ai le stick enfoncé, hein, comme ça, dès qu'il y a moyen.
Perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
Ah, c'est beau,
This
hein.
was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Est-ce qu'on l'a? Je ne pense pas. Non. C'est pas grave, j'ai essayé.
All of his co-workers were
On va aller au même endroit du coup, mais pour
decided to go to the
ne
meeting.
pas, mais on va pas éteindre la machine cette fois-ci. On va faire la fin où Stanley veut prendre le contrôle de la Terre.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors. He entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah blah blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons.
Ah, là,
It's a new passageway. Kills
là par contre, du coup, il y a moyen. Du coup, on va retenter. Là, on est à 2-4. 5. Ouais, moi, je dis, on peut dire qu'on a commencé à 2 minutes 4 à peu près. Jusqu'à 2 minutes 8. Et je pense que c'est possible parce qu'on perdait beaucoup de temps avec la musique et tout. Là.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Alors ouais, du coup, on va refaire la même fin.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
On essaie de choper des achievements un peu.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an
Je rappelle voilà, que c'est la deuxième fois que je fais ce jeu. Que j'ai découvert encore beaucoup de parties de ce jeu hein, que je ne soupçonnais pas. Je pensais avoir fini une bonne partie des choses, en fait non. Ok, ça fait 2 minutes là, à peu près. Ça prend du temps.
That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Allez, go.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Je pars du principe que j'ai commencé à 2h04.
Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, All of it
En espérant,
monitored
voilà.
and
Ok.
commanded from this very
La 2004, ça veut dire qu'il nous reste
As the
1
cold
minute.
reality of his past
Assez tendu,
began
je
to
pense. Hein.
sink in, Stanley decided that this machine.
Ok. On va voir combien de temps la porte met à s'ouvrir, mais...
And a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Je pense qu'encore une fois... Ah, quoique c'est 4-22, hein.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected
En vrai, il y a
how
moyen.
many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How
Pour le coup, ça va se jouer au poil de cul, hein, si on l'a.
What other
2
mysteries
minutes
did
8,
this strange
2h08.
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or
Ah, pourquoi elle est si longue cette porte? Insupportable.
but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go.
Ah.
No longer would anyone tell him
Le truc, c'est que ne sachant pas exactement quand j'ai commencé, mais là, non, je pense là, c'est foutu. Hein.
whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was
Ouais, là, c'est mort.
all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin. The feeling
C'est
of
mort.
liberation,
On l'a pas.
the immense possibility of the new path before him.
Allez, promis, après on détruit la machine. Enfin,
Right now,
on devient la machine. On devient la matrice.
Stanley was happy.
On ne l'a pas. C'est dommage. Ou alors c'est bien ici, quand on fait du StarCraft 2, il y a tout le monde.
Stanley decided to
Par contre, dès qu'on joue à des jeux
Just a memo.
solo, il n'y a personne. Si sur Alice, il y avait 2-3 personnes. Stanley Parable,
Came to a set of two
c'est parce que sur Alice, je me mets en rétro.
door on his left. Yet there was not a
Sur les jeux rétro, il y a plus de monde que
feeling
sur le Stanley Parable, quoi.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs.
Voilà, après, est-ce qu'on peut parler de déception? Je pense que oui.
Here's the door, just go.
Mais encore? Mais on gagne encore du temps. Ça donne envie de le faire. Et du coup, j'ai encore pas regardé à quel moment je commençais. Oh! C'est chiant. Je sais pas à quel moment j'ai commencé. Du coup, j'ai encore envie d'essayer. Je vais me détester.
Stanley
Yeah.
walked straight ahead through the large door.
Oh, détestez-moi, hein.
Control facility.
Ça veut dire fallait me détester en direct, fallait être là pendant le live. Ok, on allume. C'est parti, ça démarre, ça décolle.
Television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life. Their true
Cool.
nature revealed.
Bon, la première fois,
Of an employee in the building.
fallait taper le code.
The lives of so many individuals.
La deuxième fois...
Screen
Allez, la deuxième fois, je suis rentré, il a fait ouais, machin, bon, on connaît le truc, on connaît les bails.
where freedom.
Tu rentres, il y a une porte secrète, et là, je suis arrivé, il m'a dit direct, ouais, machin, tiens, c'est cadeau.
This mind control facility
Et du coup, il y a moyen.
was too horrible to
Parce que c'était pas grand chose quand même, je pense.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Après ça, il y a pas moyen de gagner plus de temps, je pense.
His emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machine...
Ok. J'espère que ça passe. Là, il y a un petit temps de chargement. Voilà. La prochaine. Promis, hein. Promis la prochaine. La prochaine, on fait une autre fin. C'est promis. Ouais. Ouais.
He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him.
Allez, moi je dis ça passe. Ça passe, ça passe.
Even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not.
J'ai commencé à 11h30 à peu près.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go.
Y'a moyen, y'a moyen. On y croit. Pour l'amour.
Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way.
Donc là j'essaie de faire l'achievement speedrun.
Things were meant to happen.
Après je fais 3 essais.
Stanley was happy.
Parce que les 3 fois c'était différent en fait. On l'a pas. Dommage. Promis, hein, ce coup-ci,
What could it mean? Stanley
on fait une autre fin.
decided the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
C'est cadeau. On fait une autre fin.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Et je vais falloir que je regarde combien de temps j'ai fait.
Yet there was
Et si je suis à genre 2-3 secondes, pas plus, je réessayerai.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
On
office.
fera la live speedrun de Stanley Parable.
Walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Bon, du coup, pour se lancer dans le speedrun, je pense pas qu'on soit sur la bonne voie.
Here's the door, just go.
Il se trouve, il y a des skips dans le jeu. Ce serait rigolo.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Désolé, on va au même endroit, mais on appuiera sur Power Off, No. Et il va nous engueuler, tout ça, ça va être rigolo. Bon, moi je l'ai déjà fait. Hein.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
À force, on va les connaître par cœur, hein, les dialogues, bien entendu.
In the building, Stanley's co-workers, the lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind-controlled facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really
L'effet comme ça est très très classe. Hein.
all this time?
Je te qui va en même temps que la caméra.
Was happy with his boring job, that his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly.
Là, la vitesse de la caméra quand on tourne. Quand on fait bla.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Voilà, et là, on va pas appuyer sur le même bouton.
Part of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad.
Et ça va être la merde. Spoiler, ça va être la merde.
Eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do.
Dodo Speak le cul qui follow, salut à toi, comment ça va?
So much that machine can do.
Cette alerte.
Let it go. Turn the controls off and leave.
Comment ça va, Doudou?
If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do
Mon logo saucisse prod, bah en fait le logo avec la saucisse, c'est le logo, c'est pas moi en fait, c'est un logo qui appartient à Square Enix qui m'ont autorisé à l'utiliser. Et c'est un logo qui vient de Life is Strange 2 et The Awesome Adventure of Captain Spirit de Dontnod. Et voilà. Et bah écoute, moi je vais très bien. Donc oui, j'aime beaucoup ce logo également. Mais il ne m'appartient pas. Oh.
isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
Merci pour le host, Doudou. Merci Doudou pour ton host.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside.
Ouais, donc je sais pas si tu connais Stanley Parable, c'est un jeu c'est un jeu avec plusieurs fins disponibles en fait. On est donc Stanley, notre but c'est de s'échapper des bureaux en suivant ce que dit le narrateur. Et donc il y a plein de fins différentes. Et ouais, du coup on se promène dans les bureaux, il y a plein de fins différentes à faire. Vas-y, d'appuyer sur le 3. Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button. Pas forcément la chose à faire, bon, vite appuyer sur le bouton 3. Bon là on va mourir. J'ai déjà fait globalement le... Ouais, il est hyper bien. C'est le genre de jeu qui a tendance à faire un peu des nœuds au cerveau des fois. Et vraiment hyper bien produit, hyper intelligent. C'est ouf quoi. C'est rigolo parce que le narrateur a des phrases un peu claquos. Et en même temps, c'est flippant parce que c'est très dystopique. C'est incroyable. Au revoir. Employé 427, c'est moi. Voilà.
30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing.
Voilà, voilà.
No ending here, just you being blown to pieces.
La manette qui vibre fort.
For your life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your
Oh. Et là, on va mourir.
until the moment I say happily ever after.
Et poète. Incroyable. La manette qui vibre à l'infini, là. Blah. Je sais pas si vous la voyez. Elle vibre à fond. C'est bon, elle a arrêté, tout va bien. Voilà, et donc, là, ça fait 2h30 hein, quand même, quoi, là-dessus. Donc,
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others.
et suivant les fins qu'on fait, des fois, ça nous amène à d'autres choses.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Il y avait d'autres fins.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
Bah ouais, mais du coup, on a fait tout ce qui se passe. Ah, bon. Oh, il est là-dedans.
Oh no, oh no, 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 no.
Alors, il y est déjà allé une fois depuis le début du jeu, là. Et, et il râle quand on va là-dedans parce que ça ne sert à rien, c'est une pièce qui ne sert à rien, mais c'est très drôle.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Où est-ce qu'on peut aller qu'on n'a pas fait? Ah, ça, le texte a changé depuis tout à l'heure, c'était écrit genre pognon le matin, pognon le midi, pognon le soir. The boss knows. Incroyable.
Here's the door, just go.
Ah oui, donc il n'y a même plus d'animation d'ouverture de la porte, quoi. Alors, je sais pas si en suivant, ça m'amène encore à une autre chose, une autre fin, quelque chose. Je ne sais pas. Son générateur va nous ramener simplement vers la fin. La happy end. La plus facile, en fait.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read.
Et la moins intéressante, mais toutefois une fin. Qu'on a déjà fait plusieurs fois, étant donné qu'on voulait tenter le speedrun, l'achievement speedrun.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have this...
Voilà, donc c'est clairement pas le jeu le plus populaire sur Twitch, j'ai l'impression. Mais c'est un jeu qui est vraiment cool, qui est vraiment intéressant à regarder. Qui est vraiment intéressant à jouer. Ou de le regarder et jouer, c'est vraiment incroyable. Parce que du coup, il y a vraiment la sensation de faire ses propres choix qui est là, quoi. Et en plus, il y a la dimension critique sociale qui va avec. Qui au final est assez explicite, enfin je veux dire, tout ça, il y a tout le monde qui est surveillé, c'est très bien. Voilà quoi. Voilà. Mais c'est un jeu qui est incroyable. Contrairement à Doki Doki Literature Club que j'ai commencé hier, que j'ai désinstallé tout de suite. C'était tellement l'ennui ça hier. C'était horrible.
Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Ah bah c'est bon, mais ça du coup on l'a déjà fait.
The heart of the operation, controls labeled with emotions.
Là c'est de là qu'on vient.
Or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
On peut pas interagir avec ça. Incroyable. Voilà. Est-ce que en bourrinant les boutons, ça fait quelque chose? J'ai pas l'impression. Et le bouton rouge, il fait que dalle. J'ai vu sur tous les boutons avec des numéros l'un après l'autre. Je pense qu'ils servent à rien. En vrai, je vais pas vous mentir, je pense qu'ils servent à rien. Mais pourquoi pas, essayons. Le 3, je sais déjà plus où il est. En vrai, je pense que là, on a fini cet endroit-là. On a fait un entier. Là, on peut rien faire. Et là, la narration, elle a l'air d'être la même. Elle a l'air de revenir au début. Enfin, elle a l'air de revenir à la narration normale. Ah oui, bon. J'ai appuyé quand même 1000 fois à côté, mais ok. Et ça, la fin heureuse, tout ça, je l'ai fait. Donc on va recommencer. Alors, recommencer dans ce jeu, ça fait partie du gameplay. Faut le savoir. Explorer le jeu. En fait, le but du jeu, c'est de l'explorer. Ah, on a changé d'espace. Ah, je sais pas à quelle porte on n'a pas où. À quel endroit on n'est pas allé en fait. Mais il y en avait une qui était. Ah si, là-bas, il y a une porte que j'ai pas testée.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Voilà, on peut mourir. Mais je crois pas que ce soit une fin en soi. Je sais pas si je peux ouvrir cette porte-là. Voilà, et du coup, ce jeu, même quand il est fini, il est pas vraiment fini. Même quand ils écrivent The End sur l'écran, bah en fait, c'est au final une des fins, même si c'est plus ou moins la fin officielle. Ok, donc je n'ai pas de carte, donc je ne peux pas ouvrir. Toutefois, je peux aller là.
Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Et là, quand on force, il me semble qu'il y a un truc à faire. Voilà.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just...
Pour le coup, le script est vraiment extrêmement bien écrit. Le game design, il est au final très épuré, et en même temps, c'est ça qui colle le mieux au jeu. Si ça avait été trop chargé, je pense que ça aurait été beaucoup moins oppressant. Et en même temps, du coup, dès que on a... Du coup, dès qu'on a un peu de décor, de richesse dans le décor, ça apporte un contraste. Et là, la porte disparaît. Ça, j'y suis déjà. Hop. Et là, je sais pas s'il y a moyen genre de sauter 1000 fois jusqu'à mourir. Je sais que... Je sais qu'il y avait une fin qui partait bien en steak. On va faire plusieurs, parce que là je l'ai fait 2 fois l'autre fois, ça a rien fait. Si j'enchaîne, est-ce que ça marche ou pas?
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. My God, is this really how much you
Ah
desire
voilà,
the game?
voilà.
That you'll throw yourself from this
Celle-là, je l'ai pas
platform
faite.
over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just
Voilà, et
want
là, on
you
part
to
sur
know
une fin qui est bien stylée
that
aussi.
was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
La dépression d'un narrateur.
Is it over?
Voilà.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
C'est là que j'ai restart et que j'aurais pas dû. C'est que j'aurais dû continuer de sauter l'autre fois. Ouais, là, c'est le bordel.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
C'est le bordel.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
Quand on y allait 2 fois, il cloue la
An
porte.
answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Après, cette partie en bas qu'on a déjà fait. Ouais, mais ça va nous remettre. Avec rien du tout. Oh, faut aller refaire les sauts et tout là.
His co-workers were gone.
C'est pas grave, on va le refaire.
Stanley decided to
Il nous reste une demi-heure à faire, on a le temps. Hein.
Mr. Memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop.
Et par contre, j'ai envie d'essayer de sauter dans le vide dès le début. Je pense ça fait forcément. Je me rappelle pas de ce que ça fait, mais je suis sûr que ça fait quelque chose. Forcément quelque chose. Dans ce jeu, il n'y a rien qui n'a aucune
Stanley
conséquence.
was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in
Voilà.
control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Ah, celle-là, je l'avais pas fait. Ah, forcément, du coup, le début est.
And Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it.
Donc, forcément, oui, on reprend
Perhaps he wanted to stop
une
by
ligne de
and
dialogue régulièrement. Hein. C'est normal, à chaque fois qu'on restart, en fait.
It was okay.
Tout est bien.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ah, donc, le but, c'est globalement.
Following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired yet.
C'est globalement d'explorer, en fait, toutes les situations possibles.
Look, Stanley,
Et là, il nous en reste
we've got nothing
pas des masses. Hein. Il nous en reste pas beaucoup, je pense. Bon, après, j'avais déjà dit ça l'autre fois, mais.
Your trust in someone else can be difficult, but
Et l'autre fois, j'ai raté les principales et pas les meilleures, je pense.
there's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone.
Je sais pas si la meilleure, c'est celle que je cherche à refaire.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad?
Parce que là, c'est récupérer celle que j'avais fait
How to convince you of
la
this?
première fois et qui était super bien, hein, je me rappelle.
To show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Là, le...
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You
Voilà.
want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made
À ce niveau-là, je l'avais fait la dernière fois.
want to see vehicles, skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at
Voilà.
your design, and you can give me some.
Ça, c'est la fin qui est cool.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stan.
Paf.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest.
Alors du coup, voilà, on peut lui mettre une note de 1 à 5. Qu'en pensez-vous, le chat? Mettez-moi un chiffre. De toute façon, il y a une ou deux personnes dans le chat, là. Un chiffre au pif entre 1 et 5. C'est peu important, hein, je pense. Enfin, oui. Je pense pas que ça change grand-chose. Enfin, si, ça... Peut-être... 3. Allez, ouais. C'est le genre de mec qui m'a dit sur 20.
Oh, of course. A 3. Really?
Voilà.
Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings. Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful.
Yeah.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Ah oui, avec le leaderboard.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to
À continuer de traverser des portes.
Again, honest answers, please.
Et on va être gentil, on va mettre un 4.
I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a
Le
lovely
dessinateur. Mais ouais.
opportunity to give it some
Mais c'est ça qui est génial.
You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
C'est ça qui est génial. C'est que tu peux l'énerver à l'infini.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right.
C'est le genre de vrai jeu.
Which is the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will...
Et ça, c'est très rigolo parce que, enfin, globalement, c'est une parodie. C'est très moqueur quand il dit ça, quand il dit ça parle des problèmes familiaux et tout. Ah, ça le ramène au début. On peut y jouer pendant longtemps. Hein. Voilà, bruit vraiment incroyable. Sachant que pour vous, il est moins fort. Hein. Vraiment fun. Hein. Et en même temps, à la fin, on a très envie que le bébé meure. De cette façon.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single...
Donc ça a amélioré notre expérience, apparemment.
I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Et là, on va aller dans des jeux que vous connaissez très bien. Voilà, celui-ci.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley.
Attention,
Build a house.
construction Minecraft de qualité, c'est parti, c'est maintenant. C'est en direct.
This will go here. No, here. And then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes,
Paf.
it's complete. I made this, Stanley.
Incroyable.
Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed that
C'est une belle maison. On a tous commencé comme ça dans les jeux vidéo. Ouais. Je pense qu'on est beaucoup à avoir joué à ce jeu. Voilà. Ouh. Ouh. On est beaucoup à avoir joué à ce jeu. On a tous commencé comme ça en mode survie, voilà. On le sait. Ah, c'est pas moi qui gère le cassage de blocs, hein. Moi j'ai. Ça c'est parfait ça. On l'entend plus. Bon, mais tu vois, une petite musique de Minecraft, voilà. Ouais, on a eu la musique de Minecraft qui quand même est là quoi. C'est une musique qui est stylée. C'est de la musique qui est stylée. La musique qui a bercé mes années, toutes mes années collège et un peu du lycée. Ouais, 4-5 ans quoi.
Yes,
Ouais.
I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. But what is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Ouais, ça nous amène dans ce jeu. Alors, il y en a l'autre fois quand j'étais en live, quand j'avais déjà fait ce jeu une première fois. C'est en mode, ouais, c'est trop bien, ça t'amène dans plein de jeux différents, énorme concept, j'adore. C'est pas du tout. C'est pas du tout le but du jeu. Alors, il se trouve que j'ai fumé le premier Portal quand je l'ai eu, que j'adore ce jeu, et que si vous n'avez pas joué les Portals, sachez que voilà, c'est loin d'être un simple jeu d'énigmes. Paf. Voilà, on se retrouve là, un endroit un peu au pif. Et là, bon, on va dans le vide infini. Incroyable. Alors, c'est qu'il y a les couloirs bizarres là. J'avais oublié. Alors, vous devez pas voir grand chose, je vous rassure, moi non plus. Hein. Et je pense pas que c'est. Ouais, non. Clairement pas. Pas moyen de. Pas moyen d'augmenter un peu le gamma. Non. Parce que le final est pas si mal, moi c'était pour vous, je voulais le relancer parce que j'aime pas trop les gens qui. Je sais que moi quand il y a des. Quand il y a des repères pour caler la luminosité, je les suis parce que c'est. En fait, c'est comme ça que le jeu a été designé. Il a été designé pour être joué avec cette luminosité. Et donc, certes, c'est très rigolo de jouer avec plus de luminosité et de tout voir et du coup d'avoir l'air d'avoir ma skill. Mais du coup, moins d'immersion. Là, on peut pas modifier. Donc. On ne peut rien faire ici. Ah!
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Tout est génial dans ce jeu. Les timings sont parfaits. Et pour le coup, j'ai vraiment pas trouvé une seule fausse note dans ce jeu. Si, peut-être que il faudrait que le narrateur, par exemple, quand on va vers une fin qu'on a déjà fait, qu'il n'y a pas d'autre fin possible, que le narrateur lâche un truc genre mettez déjà elle est là ou une connerie comme ça. Mais en même temps, pas en abuser, faudrait que ce soit un peu dosé quoi. Parce que si t'en abuses, ben c'est vite chiant. Et en vrai, après, bah, je pense qu'on a fait du coup toutes les fins du jeu. Hein. Je pense qu'on les a toutes faites. Hein. Vraiment. Là, on est revenu sur les dialogues du départ. On est revenu sur les dialogues du départ. Je pense qu'on a tout fait. Voilà, donc en vrai, c'est pas mal. Petit plomb de verdure. Je pense pas qu'il y ait d'autres endroits. Hein. Franchement, je vais aller voir là-bas. Peut-être qu'il y a une porte ou quelque chose que j'ai pas. Là-bas, il y a une plateforme, je sais pas si je peux y accéder. Et ça, pour le coup, c'est vraiment un jeu qui est masterpiece, quoi. Enfin, je veux dire, c'est à la fois léger et facile à aborder et facile à comprendre. Et en même temps, ça a des mécaniques hyper stylées. Voilà. Non, je pense que... Pour le coup, masterpiece, quoi. Oh, puis du coup, ça, on l'a déjà fait. Alors, on peut revoir cette fin-là. Hein, pour Doudou qui était pas là. Ouais. On va refaire cette fin pour Doudou, qui est là et qui avait raté ça. Et de toute façon, je pense qu'on a fait toutes les fins. C'est vraiment un jeu que je peux que vous encourager à choper sur Steam. Il coûte pas grand-chose. Faut parler anglais. Mais ça va, franchement, il n'y a pas d'anglais poussé. Et en plus, quoique non, en plus, il y a la traduction. Donc, pour le coup, c'est cadeau, quoi.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job.
Ah, ça c'est classe parce que du coup c'est le jeu où au final juste on est à la place de Stanley où son job c'est juste d'appuyer sur un bouton quand on lui dit.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen.
Bah, n'oubliez pas, on a un petit lien Instant Gaming qui est dispo en dessous du stream. Vous avez des jeux moins chers, je chope 3% sur ce que vous achetez. La plupart des streamers en ont bien entendu, mais... Du coup, quitte à filer 3% à quelqu'un, autant le filer à un petit streamer qui a pas d'argent, pourquoi pas. N'oubliez pas ceux qui sont sur YouTube, que ça se passe sur Twitch. Et oui, tout ce que vous voyez, c'est seulement des rediffs. Tout se passe sur Twitch, alors des fois, il se passe des choses que vous comprenez à moitié, peut-être parce que ça se passe sur le chat. N'oubliez pas de venir sur Twitch, c'est là que c'est le mieux. N'oubliez pas bien sûr que si le contenu vous plaît, vous pouvez follow et que la meilleure façon de me soutenir, c'est de partager ce que je fais. C'est aussi, ça vaut pour tous les streamers, le partage, c'est vraiment la meilleure façon de faire parler du streamer, c'est ce qui est le mieux. Merci à tous ceux qui le font, merci à ceux qui hostent, merci à Doudou qui me host. Voilà. Ça se transforme en mon bureau au final. Hein.
Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls, and down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions.
Et vous pouvez aussi vous abonner sur YouTube. Hein. Si jamais. Si vous ennuyez, vous avez rien à foutre.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Voilà, et après, alors pour demain matin, il n'y a pas de stream parce que je ne suis pas chez moi. Dimanche matin non plus. Et du coup, on reprendra la semaine prochaine, le week-end prochain, sur les matinales sur SC2 et tout ça, voilà. Ouais, donc bon, on n'a pas le choix hein, pour si vous posez les questions, on n'a pas le choix d'appuyer sur ce bouton, sur un bouton pour continuer. Sinon, il se passe rien en fait.
I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Veuillez mourir.
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley...
Alors là, j'ai aucun bouton appuyé. Ça fonctionne tout seul. Voilà. Alors si, il y en avait une que j'avais pas fait. Il y a une fin que j'ai pas fait au moins parce que il y a un moment où il disait ouais machin. Stanley quand toi il est tout seul au bureau. C'est le bordel partout et à ce moment-là j'ai restart parce que je sais pas. Voilà. Donc voilà, donc on a globalement fait une bonne partie des fins. Si jamais vous êtes sur YouTube et il y a des fins que j'ai pas fait, vous me les mettez en commentaire. Vous me dites tu peux aller par là et ça fait telle fin. Et comme ça, après moi au moins je pourrais les faire, même si je les fais pas en stream, peut-être je les ferai vite fait, tout ça, histoire de les caler quelque part sur YouTube. Et voilà. Du coup, maintenant la vraie question, c'est est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un à host ? Je pense que oui. Ah bah il y a en carte, voilà. On va host le poteau en carte. Et du coup, bah merci à tous d'avoir été là. Ça va être la fin de ma matinale. Merci à tous ceux qui sont passés. Merci à Unrevealed qui n'est pas francophone et qui est passé et qui a follow. Merci à lui beaucoup. Merci, hop là, vous prenez les petits sons de Twitch là. Désolé. Voilà, merci à tous. Je vous aime. Et du coup, je vous enregistre en carte. Euh, et voilà, simplement. Je le host, alors cliquez sur consulter la chaîne, pensez-y, comme ça lui ça lui envoie des viewers, là il a 128, alors il en a largement assez, mais pensez à follow, pensez à tout ça, c'est pour son, son partenariat. Voilà, je vous envoie chez lui, je vous dis bisous, et je vais faire coucou comme ça pendant quelques temps pour le délai voilà, du chat. Salut!